Welcome to Kemicentrum, home to all chemistry studies at Lund University. With more than 1,000 employees and students, we are one of Scandinavia's largest centers of education and research within chemistry. Here, scientists are working in several different research areas to understand, explain, and improve our world. Some of our most prominent research areas are in food and pharmacy, renewable resources, environment, and energy. Come along and let us show you where you will be spending your future educational years. A major part of your studies will be spent in lectures, for example here in one of Kemicentrum's largest lecture halls. Here you can learn about everything from basic chemistry to advanced chemical processes. Here we also have several lunch lectures hosted by guests. You will spend many of your educational hours here, and one lecturer you might get in touch with is Ulf Ellevik, professor in organic chemistry.
So, my name is Ulf Ellevik. I'm a professor in bioorganic chemistry. I'm also a lecturer, especially in organic chemistry, for the first years of several programs here at the Kemicentrum.
What does a lecture normally look like?
A lecture at the university is usually about 2 hours long. So it starts at 8:15, for example, and then continue for 45 minutes. We have a break, 15-minute break, and then another 45 minutes.
How big part of the course is lectures?
Usually there are about, say, 15 to 20 double lectures in a course. And I would say that is about half of the material. Then you have experimental, you have small lectures, seminars, exercises. So there's several other things that add into the course.
How are you as a lecturer part of the research here at the Kemicentrum?
My position as a professor means that I do both research and teaching. So I would say I do mostly research, about 2/3 of my time maybe, and then 1/3 is probably teaching.
How can we through lectures take part of the current research?
And that's a very important part of it, since we lecturers must also be researchers, meaning that we follow the literature, we do research, and we explain what happens in the frontline research. And I would say if something interesting turns up in a Nobel Prize, for example, the next day, if that's part of my course, I would definitely add it to the lecture.
Kemicentrum has more than 10 seminar rooms where you will have study exercises, seminars, presentations, and when empty, these rooms can also be used as study rooms. It is in these seminar halls you have the most time with your teachers, so if you have any questions about your studies, they are best answered here. Kemicentrum has several laboratory classrooms. As a student, you partake in a multitude of laborations within everything from microbiology to physical chemistry. Once it is time to perform the experiments, you'll receive a lab coat as well as a pair of safety goggles and head to the lab. One of the lab instructors is Niklas, who will now give you a glimpse of the laboratory work.
Hey, my name is Niklas Warlen and I'm a PhD student here at Kemicentrum. As a PhD student I will do a lot of the teaching and the introductory labs that you will encounter during your first few years here during your studies.
What kind of labs can you come across?
That depends a little bit on what program you study and also what it can differ from course to course. There are plenty of labs that cover the concept of titration because that's a quite important concept to learn and it's used throughout the industry. You will also learn how to do a TLC, how to handle a separating funnel and similar basic technical concepts within chemistry.
How do they differ?
Often the labs are designed to enlighten a certain technique that you want to learn. For example, the titration lab, you will focus a lot on handling the titration equipment and how to do that. So you can do that a few times over and over until you learn and feel comfortable with the technique.
How much time do you spend in the lab?
Once again, depends a bit from course to course. I think for the basic courses in the first few years, you get 2 to 3 labs per course, and they are usually either half day or full day that you will spend in the lab.
Laborations may also take place in one of Kemicentrum's apparatus halls. Here, education and research is performed amongst each other, and prototypes of equipment from different manufacturers are used. In one of the central corridors is the information desk. Here you can get help to get in touch with your teachers or find general information such as opening hours and schedules. Several faculty members also have their offices here. One of them is the Director of Studies, Sofie Manner.
My name is Sofie Manner and I'm the Director of Studies for the undergraduate education at the Department of Chemistry. I'm also a teacher. I'm teaching both science courses and engineering courses, and I'm also a researcher.
What different education is there at Kemicentrum?
Well, you will find a lot of different educations at Kemicentrum. We have the science educations with 2 different bachelor programs and 3 master programs, and then we have the engineering programs with 3 major civil engineering programs and some master programs as well.
What institutions are there here?
In Kemicentrum there are 3 different institutions. It's the Department of Chemistry, which is a shared department between science and engineering faculty. We have the chemical engineering and the food technology institutions, and they are both LTH institutions.
How does education connect to the institutions?
When it comes to the science educations, they all belong to the Department of Chemistry. When it comes to the civil engineering programs and the master programs for the engineering students, they are sort of divided out between the 3 different institutions. So they take courses from both the Department of Chemistry, the chemical engineering and food technology.
In the same corridor as the information desk is Café Ester. Here you can buy lunch if you forgot your lunchbox, or maybe just buy some Swedish fika. During weekdays they also serve a vegetarian buffet. In several locations at Kemicentrum there are group rooms and quiet halls where you can study. These are extremely popular during exam periods, so you might need to be here early in the morning if you want a place to sit. During your studies, you will need a lot of study material, and Kemicentrum has a nice library at your disposal. There is also a printing shop called Medietryck, where you can buy parts of your study material such as compendiums and notebooks. As a student, you spend most of your time on the ground floor at Kemicentrum. On the upper floors, we find researchers, doctorates and others who work at one of the 3 institutions. The institutions host many different research projects that you as a student can take part of, including research in chemistry, biochemistry and life science. The lecturers are often researchers, and several nearby companies started out as a project at Kemicentrum. Further on through Kemicentrum, you'll pass several halls that contains lockers. These are for students to keep lab coats when they aren't used. There are also a multitude of computer halls, where you might both have classes and study individually. At Kemicentrum, the temporary M building is also placed, containing students at the machine and industrial economy engineering programs. The students at Kemicentrum each have a common area in the East Wing. Here you can find halls for the K Guild, the W Guild, and the Natural Science faculty. Here are seating areas for both studying and eating. If you want to store food, each common area is equipped with fridges and microwaves for everyone to use. In the same hallway, you will also find the boardrooms for the K and W guilds, where you often can find the board members if you have any question about any of the guilds. You have now received a glimpse of everyday life of a student at Kemicentrum. Welcome! We hope you will feel at home soon.